Greetings class, Mr. Munir here with your robotics lesson of the day. So this is lesson number 3 and we're still working on RoboMind Academy, the Basics 1 course, but at this point now you should have completed fully getting started. You see I didn't finish it on this test student, but you should have gotten this all green, so none of that should be gray. So we're on to the next bit, which is guarding and slalom. Okay, so in this we're going to learn about loops. In Robot C, we would use while loops, while 1 or while x is less than a certain value, and then we'd increment x by making x get bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually our while loop would stop, or it might go on forever. In this case, we don't use while, we use repeat. So this is just an example of two different programming languages doing the exact same thing. And you see that a lot in programming. Loops are a pretty standard aspect of any programming language. So you're going to have a tutorial, a little introduction, and it goes through lots of things. And it talks about repeat and how to use repeat. And I'm not going to go through that because that's available to you. So you should go through that. In fact, you should pause this lesson now and go through the introduction, so that when I'm going through it, you already kind of have that information. So pause and pick back up when you're done with that intro. Okay, I'm assuming you paused and we're back. So let's talk about going through these lessons. First off, remember, the first thing you want to do is see what it's actually asking you to do. So it says draw a square. Try to let the robot draw a square. At first, just let the robot go around in a square. Use only forward and right a number of times. When you succeed, the robot will go around in a square but does not yet draw a white border. Then add the command paint white to let the robot also draw a white border. All right, well, I if you remember, I used this same one to do something that was absolutely inaccurate. That's not a square. So I want to create a square, and you can see that it's going forward 3 times, then right, then forward, then right. So I'm going to do that the simple way, and you can just watch me as I go ahead and do this example for you. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and start painting just to, show you how to do it. So I'm going to paint white. I'm going to go forward 3 and then right. And then just to show you what's happening here, I'm going to go forward 3 and then right again. And let's see what happens. So paints, boom. I'm going to slow that down so you can really see it. Paints, turns right, awesome. Okay, so this looks good, but I've obviously not completed the square, so I'm going to do forward 3 again, then right again, then forward 3 again, then right again. Well, actually, I don't have to go right again because I should be at the end of my square, so let's watch. Boom, 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 boom. Sweet, splendid, hooray. I always love those little congratulations. So that's cool, but you can see that we're actually doing the exact same thing a bunch of times. We're going forward, then right, then forward, then right, then forward, then right. And technically, I could go right again, and it doesn't change anything, right? Yeah, cool. No big deal. So we're doing forward and right a bunch of times. So if you go to the next one, so there you go, that's completing that one for you. Now, if you go to the next one, it says draw a square, but smarter. Well, in order to draw it smarter, you should have already watched that, gone through the introduction, so you should know about what I'm about to say, that you should use a repeat, okay? So I'm gonna say repeat, and the question is how many times? Well, I just deleted it, but let's see how many times we're repeating. We're repeating this once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So I'm gonna get rid of those right there, and I'm just gonna keep this code, and I'm gonna say repeat 4 times. I'm gonna have open bracket and a close bracket. But now we know that this formatting is wrong because we should have it spaced so we can see that it's inside of that repeat loop, just like we would in Robot C. So I'm gonna highlight it and hit tab, and then it's gonna space it nicely, and I can see that forward 3 and right are inside of that repeat loop. And so if I do that, it should work. Yeah, and it does. So again, I could repeat this 50 times if I wanted to, and I'm going to put it on full speed so you see. It's just going to keep going and going and going 50 times, and then eventually it should stop, I think. Cool. But it says robot should end up where it started. Nice. Okay. I could also repeat this twice, and we'll see what happens. I I even could repeat it once or even 0 times. Oh, well, repeating something 0 times means you don't do it at all. So that's not going to work. So I repeat it 4 times. Sweet. Awesome. I drew a square. Cool. And I did it in a much more efficient way than I did the last time. I'm not having to type the same exact code over and over again. I can just use repeat and it will loop over and over and again. And that 4 shows how many times it repeated. So now I am going to end. This is going to be a short lesson because all that I really need you to know about is the repeat. So I'm not going to require too much of you for this lesson because I think I required a lot the last time for the activity. So all I'm going to require that you get to is you do this one, which is number 4. You do the 5th one, which is Robo a security guard, and then you do let's slalom. Okay? Oh, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to keep this one easy. And if you want to go ahead and do more, awesome. If not, totally cool with me. But this repeat thing can be a little tricky, so I don't want to challenge you too much. So let's just have you do for this activity, you'll just do number 4 and number 5. So to be clear, the assignment that you have to get done by the next time that we would meet in class is you have to finish all of guarding and slalom up to number 5. Now I've obviously number 1 is just introduction. I just did number 2 and number 3, so that's easy. So all you really have to do on your own is number 4 and number 5. And I'll be able to see it on my teacher dashboard, what you have accomplished. So make sure you get that done by the due date. And remember, all the due dates are always on my CCA, and I'll explain everything in as much detail as you need on the my CCA assignment. So there shouldn't ever be any question. As always, if you need my help, you can email me, or if you don't have access to email, you get your parents to email me, or if that doesn't work for you, just go on Google Chat and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I'm on my computer a lot, obviously, as are you. So with that being said, that's it for me for the day. Make sure you watch the other Edpuzzle video, the other warm-up as well, and answer all the questions as always. But with that, that's it. I'm done. I'm excited to see what you guys can do. Make sure you get the assignments done, hand them in on time. God bless you guys. See you next time. And until then, enjoy robotics.